Welcome to Alberta Conservation Association's Harvest Your Own podcast, the resource for everything hunting, navigating through the field, the butcher shop, and the kitchen. Life is all about great food. Let's get started.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Brad Fenson, an avid outdoor enthusiast who has worked as a freelance journalist, photographer, and public speaker for over 3 decades. I have hunted, fished, and foraged all my life and hope to share my passion for the outdoors. Along the way, I want to encourage everyone to harvest wild proteins and enjoy the satisfaction of providing the next meal for your family. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire individuals to get outdoors and create a connection between food, health, and your future meals. Welcome to Harvest Your Own. Today we're going to do things a little bit different. We don't have any guests here. The communications team at Alberta Conservation Association, who oversee the Harvest Your Own program, said, how about doing a couple podcasts that are much shorter, like 15 minutes in length, where you could give us advice on different things that are occurring within the outdoor industry or cooking or equipment or whatever is current that day. So there are seasonal opportunities or there's specifics that are out there. The SHOT Show just occurred in Las Vegas again, the Shooting, Hunting, Outdoor Trade Show. It has been around for about 3 decades, and it really started off as a buyer's show. Mom and pop businesses from across North America would go there to meet with company salespeople and book their orders for the year. So, if there was a Edmonton gun shop that wanted to try to save money, they'd go to the SHOT Show, they'd book different things, and they'd get discounts for doing so. At the same time, they'd get to see the latest and greatest and newest things that came to market. Well, over the years that changed, and the SHOT Show actually became very important and critical for the media. So lots of journalists came out to basically see what companies had for new offerings, and it became as much as a media event as it was for the buyers that came there to try to save money and book their things for the coming year. So I've been going to SHOT Show for almost 3 decades. I think I've been to 25 or 26 of them. So I've seen a lot, and I can tell you that things have changed drastically in 2.5 decades. Lots of changes, but when I look back over time, there's a lot we can learn. If you go back 50 or 60 years ago, the 270 was one of the newest, greatest cartridges out there. Jack O'Connor, who was a gun writer and columnist for Outdoor Life magazine, wrote about his 270 caliber rifle and all of his adventures from Africa to hunting sheep and all over North America. He really took those readers on a journey with everything that he wrote, and they listened to every word. There was no other place to get information about guns. We look at what we have today in terms of the internet or friends or the knowledge of our local gun shop owners, and it is like light and day compared to what they had 6 decades ago. So when there was a gun writer out there that would share information, people devoured it. They listened to him. He had incredible influence. And I remember a couple things that Jack O'Connor said over the years, because I've read many of his books. It inspired me when I was younger, and I still find it a good read. Go back and read many of his books over and over again. But he said one of the biggest advents in hunting was the rifle scope. So Jack O'Connor, when he started hunting, he had open sights. And to the end of his career, he said one of his most favorite things in life was to track a deer to its bed, jump it, and as it was running away, he'd shoot it running with open sights. Of course, things have changed a lot. If I was to write that today, I'd probably get lots of letters to the editor or letters to my podcast managers about you shouldn't shoot at running game. It's unethical. It's all kinds of different things. So things change in different eras. Some things are more palatable than others. Yeah, but, ethics are different for everyone. But nowadays, a standing broadside shot is probably the most desired of all for any hunter. It's the easiest to have a quick, clean kill. And although we'd like to be sharpshooters and, shoot over our shoulder with a mirror or shoot game on the run, we often don't and shouldn't because we don't want to have to face disappointment. But O'Connor, looking back, the rifle scope was huge. And when he started out, the Weaver K4 was one of the most popular scopes that was out there. And they were purchased by thousands of sportsmen and women. So today, I know several people that still own a Weaver K4 and have it on top of their rifles, and they still work. The quality is outstanding. Weavers changed over the years. They've been purchased by many different companies. But rifle scopes today, I wonder what Jack O'Connor would have to say about them because, man, I'll tell you what, they are sophisticated, engineered pieces of equipment that are, they're a game changer. There are so many options out there that most of us don't know where to start when we're looking at them. And I think that's what we should talk about today. There's... When you need something new, whether it's a rifle or new ammunition or new optics, where do you go for information? A lot of people go to the internet, but I still like to go down to the local shop and handle things firsthand, pick up a gun, look through a rifle scope, look through binoculars to get a firsthand feel for it. So I'd still recommend doing that. Another thing is our technologies change and companies are very marketing motivated nowadays. So we see new models come out every single year. That means there's an incredible aftermarket situation for a lot of us where we could buy used optics and still have some of the latest and greatest without the big price tag. And one of the nice things is that you have several of the companies that have lifetime warranties. And even if that optic is sold aftermarket to somebody else, that warranty still carries through. So there's very little risk with a lot of the different rifle scopes and binoculars and things that you could purchase as an aftermarket option to get started or to upgrade. I'll give you some examples of how things have changed drastically over the years. At SHOT Show, Burris Optics, which is based out of Colorado in the United States. They make color optics right here in North America. They're celebrating 50 years with their full field scope. The full field is a very basic scope. It's been around 5 decades. We were talking about the Weaver K4. Well, the Burris has been out there for a long time. It is a consumer favorite. It is, and probably because it is basic. You put it on your rifle and you just use it. There's nothing to set other than focus your reticle, change your magnification. It's got a wide field of view, very easy to use, simple, and you really don't need to read the manual before you use it. I'll give you the opposite. Burris also had their Illuminator 6 rifle scope. Now, this thing is like a computer to put on your firearm. It ranges target, and it can be over 1,000 yards. And it gives you an aiming point that is adjusted for the distance, for windage, for elevation changes, angle changes, and it even takes into account some environmental factors to give you a precise aiming point. Of course, the price tag between the full field optic and the Illuminator 6 is drastic. So decide what you need. I mean, it's easy to fall into the marketing game, look at these big things and think they're going to make us a better hunter. But to be honest, your hunting skills need to be there first, to find the game, to approach them where they don't know you're there. So you have that standing broadside shot. Being able to shoot a target at 1,000 yards is one thing, but being able to make a clean kill on a deer at 100 yards is basically what all of us strive for. And, lots of other companies, Leupold's a popular brand because we have Korth agencies in Alberta here, and they represent Leupold in Canada, have for years. And it's a great optic, another one that's made in North America, made out of Oregon. And if we look at their stuff with their HD glass in recent years, they are incredibly clear. They have a lifetime warranty, and their new VX6 HD Generation 2 rifle scope this year has all of the bells and whistles. It can do everything for you. The problem is most people won't use all of that. This is a scope that is designed for an elite hunter. Really, it's even beyond that. For a competitive shooter, long-range shooter, and somebody that really likes to play with ballistics and optics, this scope is got all the bells and whistles to make you happy. So if you ever go on the Leupold website, you're going to see that there are a bunch of different models to choose from. And it's really important. This is where people need to do their homework. Scopes drastically change in price because of the components that are in there or the magnification offered or other things that are built in for electronics. If we look at the VX line of rifle scopes from Leupold, there's a Freedom, there's a VX3, a VX4, a VX5, a VX6. Every one of them offers something a little bit more, and they go up in price. Which one do you need as a hunter? Is it the VX Freedom, a basic line that gives you, clarity and great aiming options for any type of hunting that we do in Alberta? Or do you want something that offers you more components? We look at other scopes like the Trijicon Huron. Trijicon makes a pile of optics for different military organizations around the world, and they're considered one of the clearest. I know some gunsmiths that work on guns, and they have a very nice Trijicon AccuPoint rifle to actually check the accuracy of guns. They'll actually put it on there to check it. Well, the new Huron is a rifle scope designed for deer hunters without an illuminated reticle, and that shouldn't hold you back because everything else in this scope is top-notch. The clarity, the light gathering capabilities are ridiculous. When I picked it up and looked at it in a dark room, I could see better with that optic than I could with my naked eye. That says a lot. And again, that comes back to going to different places to try optics and different things. It's one thing to read about it on the internet. It's another to go into a shop, pick up an optic, and look into the darkest corner of the building to see what you can see. Look at any signs that are on the far side and see if you can read them. Look out across the street out a window. Pick out a far object and see if it remains clear, if you can read it. You can learn a lot about a rifle scope or an optic by picking it up and putting it through some of the paces, just having it in hand, not actually on your firearm. Again, looking at new optics, because there was a pile of them this year. Swarovski has a new line, the Z5i Plus. Very compact for the Swarovski line, clear, lightweight. And that eye, we're going to see that eye designation on a lot of optics, and that means illuminated. That means the reticle is illuminated. And of course, there's lots of different things. The full reticle as a crosshair can be illuminated at different intensities. Some of them just have a small dot in the center. Now, this can be a game changer for some people. If you have problems with accuracy, holding the rifle still, controlling your breathing, different things, an illuminated reticle can be a great training piece of your optic to get you on target and to help you realize maybe what your mistakes are, but when to pull the trigger. And I'll give you an example. I took my dad on a moose hunt a few years ago, and Dad's getting up there. He's in his 80s. His eyesight isn't as good as it used to be. For a matter of fact, he had cataract surgery after that moose hunt, so he did have challenges. And we had a nice bull moose that was at about 120 yards. Had him on shooting sticks. He was looking at the moose through the optic, and I had an illuminated reticle, a little dot in the center. It was a Zeiss scope, HD, super clear, but he kept saying, I can't get that dot to hold still. And that meant a lot. He didn't pull the trigger. The moose actually wandered away. Luckily, I called it back out. He got the crosshair on it. The illuminated dot was able to hold steady and make a perfect shot. Now, he said to me afterwards, I don't think I'd have been able to make that shot unless I had that dot. I'd never used a scope like that before, and it sure made a difference. And I've heard that from a lot of people over time. There's lots of different people with vision challenges. So maybe you're nearsighted, farsighted, need corrective lenses, things just aren't clear enough. An illuminated reticle can help you separate a target from the reticle, especially with creatures like moose or black bears. Black targets with a black reticle can often be hard to see. So having that illumination can make a big difference. And if you've never tried one, again, go to your local shop. Ask them what they have for illuminated rifle scope reticles. Pick them up. Look at them. See if they're adjustable, because you can get different intensities of light for different lighting conditions when you're in the field. You can get the full reticle. You can get dots. You can get rings. There's all kinds of things. And when you look through the right one, you're going to know it. And you're going to say, man, I would really like to try this. So there are some benefits to the new technologies and to electronic optics, because as soon as you put a light in an optic, it becomes electronic, and you're going to need batteries for it. And the other thing is, if you use it in some jurisdictions, always make sure you check the regulations to make sure things like that are legal, because they're not everywhere. Sometimes you can't have an illuminated reticle, and you need to make sure you check on that beforehand. So, optics, man, have they changed a lot in the 27 years that I've been going to SHOT Show, but man, have they changed a lot since I read my first Jack O'Connor story or his first book. They've changed a lot in the last 5 years. I can't believe that they can still engineer and make significant changes to these products that can benefit us as a hunter. So, again, where do we get the information? Make sure you're diligent. Read about them. Go online, order the catalog, read reviews, but take it all with a grain of salt. Not every piece of equipment is made for every person. Buy what would help you in the field. Buy what will help you see better. Look at things like an illuminated reticle or different magnification. Magnification can make a big difference as well. A 3 times magnification is pretty standard with a 3-9 or a 3-15. But if you go to a 4 times magnification, like a 4-16 power scope, it's going to cost you more. And of course, now there's 5 times magnification. So, understanding the basics of optics and rifle scopes and knowing what you need or what you want and checking into the market, the aftermarket, doing your homework, you're going to be a better hunter in the long run because you're going to see clear, you're going to shoot straight. Hopefully, you'll have more venison to come back to harvest your own, to look for recipes. So, thanks for joining us today for a little BrAdvice in terms of looking for a rifle scope, whether you're looking for the first one, whether you're looking for an upgrade, or if you just want something that's new and exciting to change the game of shooting when you do get to the field. We look forward to talking to you again soon. We hope to inspire people to reconnect with nature and appreciate where your food comes from by harvesting your own. For more information on getting started or to learn specifics about the Field to Fork experience, visit harvestyourown.ca and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Check back often for new material, recipes, and videos that are posted regularly. Please subscribe to Harvest Your Own podcast and take the time to rate and review the show to help us build a dedicated core of passionate hunters as our regular audience. Until next time, embrace the outdoors and all it has to offer. Thanks for joining us.